Don't you just love online school? I was just recording this and then realized my microphone wasn't on, so I had to re-record. So today our story is Just Plain Snaky. It is an article, and the synopsis says, everyone knows that snakes are sneaky, speedy, and slimy, right? This information selection dispels some common misconceptions about snakes in general, and boa constrictors in particular. So let's go over our vocabulary. I'm going to read this with you today. Do snakes prefer warm or cold climates? Climates is the temperature and the weather of a location over time. So what does digested mean? Mom said I had to wait until my lunch digested before I could go swimming. We know digestion has to do with the digestive system, and how we swallow food and goes through our body. Washing your hands well will reduce the number of infections you get. Infections are sickness, illnesses. We gave our dog a flea bath to rid him of the parasites. So if you remember from the story that we just read yesterday, the boa constrictor had mites, which are parasites. Revealed means a hen moved off her nest and revealed 3 little chicks. That means to show something that you had not seen before. All right, so if we look on page 78 and 79, we can see the title of the article is Just Plain Snaky. And if you look at page 78, go ahead and grab it, your book, because you're going to be reading with me today. Authors write for 3 main purposes. Stories are often written for fun or to entertain. Articles are often written to provide information or to inform about a topic. Authors also write to persuade you to do or think something. So what is the author's purpose of writing this article? So the synopsis on page 79 says, many people do not like snakes, especially boa constrictors. This is probably because of untrue things they have heard about them. It is important to get the facts. Boa constrictors are one of the over 40 kinds of boas. As Lisa's family learned, boa constrictors can make good pets. So as we read, think about what the author's purpose is in writing this article. Turn to page 80 and we'll read along as I read with you, as I read the story. All right. Boa constrictors do not lie wait in trees, ready to pounce on people passing by and swallow them swiftly. The mottled brown and cream coloring of a boa constrictor helps it to hide in trees or on the ground. Heat sensors in the upper lip of the snake help it to detect an animal passing by. The snake lunges swiftly at its prey and constricts it with its coils. The prey, unable to breathe, is dead before it is swallowed. The boa's prey is not a person or a large animal. Like all snakes, boa constrictors have jawbones that are joined by strong ligaments instead of joints. This allows the mouth to spread far apart so food can be pulled in. This does not mean that they are able to swallow prey of unlimited size. Their usual diet is birds and small mammals like mice and rabbits. They sometimes eat eggs, fish, frogs, toads, lizards, and other snakes. The food is swallowed slowly, and afterward the snake lies motionless for several days while the meal is digested. There is a caption that says, a boa constrictor eating its prey. Turn to page 81. Boa constrictors do not chase people. Boas and other snakes move forward by flexing first one muscle and then another, making waves from head to tail. These waves push against plants, rocks, and other rough surfaces. For climbing, snakes use special muscles to pull the scales on their bellies forward and push them back. On the ground or in trees, top speed for a boa is about 1 mile per hour. At this rate, even a very slow person could outdistance it in no time. So the average speed of snakes, if you look at the graph, they have the black mamba, the rattlesnake, and the boa constrictor. And then you have miles per hour. So you see the boa is at 1. The black mamba can go 12 miles per hour. All right, so turn to page 82. Boa constrictors do not feel wet and unpleasant. All snakes, including boa constrictors, are covered with dry, overlapping scales on the head and back. Underneath, they have larger, overlapping plate scales. Growth and wear cause the outer layer of a snake's skin to come off from time to time. This molting happens more often with young snakes and with snakes living in warmer climates. Before molting, the snake becomes less active and its eyes have a cloudy look. The snake rubs its head on a rough surface to loosen the old skin. Then it wriggles out, leaving the skin inside out. The new skin that is revealed looks wet because it is shiny and reflects light. It is really quite dry and pleasant to the touch. So we have pictures of a boa constrictor molting and the shed skin of a boa constrictor. So turn to page 83. Another reason that snakes might be considered unpleasant to touch is that they are sometimes troubled with parasites like mites. They are also troubled with infections that begin when foreign material finds its way between their scales. Both of these cause a buildup of material that swells and feels disgusting. When the problem clears up, the scales are dry again and smooth. Boa constrictors are not sneaky, speedy, or slimy. They are simply snaky. So we have 4 pictures: the scales of a tree boa, the scales of a rainbow boa, the scales of a boa constrictor, and the scales of a rubber boa. So 4 different types of boas. Okay, so what was the author's purpose in writing this article? And I think is it not to entertain? It didn't tell us anything funny or exciting. It didn't try to persuade us of anything. It mostly just gave us information. So it's an informative. The author's purpose is to give information, to inform. So the author's purpose is to inform. So how is the story A Snake in the House like the article Just Plain Snaky? They're both about boa constrictors, right? That's how they are like. How are they different? The author's purpose is different. In the story that we read Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the purpose is to entertain, and this article today purpose is to inform, to give us information. So that's how they're different. So you can discuss with your mom or who's home with you. Do you think a boa constrictor would make a good pet, and why? And do you remember who the main character was in The Snake in the House? All right, so today you're going to be working in your workbook on page 155 and 156. In your workbook, it says, write the author's purpose under the correct paragraph. So you have entertain, inform, and persuade. So you need to read those 3 paragraphs and put the answer there. On the back, it's really simple. You're going to have this little picture with the road there, and you're going to put the dot between the syllables or draw a line. And then you're going to just write the number of syllables. That's pretty easy. So cleanest, you would just put 2. Cleanest. Sudden, you put 2. All right, pretty easy work today, guys. So once you finish that, you can take a picture of it and send it to me in Google Classroom, and we'll look at that and make sure you're doing the right thing. Let us know if you have any questions. And then tomorrow we have another story on to round out our week of snake stories. So look forward to that tomorrow.